Hey everybody, so for my project, for the individual paper, I am doing coal beds within Ottumwa. I was born and raised here, and I had honestly no idea that all of this was over here. So today I am over on a bridge that I grew up riding my bike across on the north side of town. It goes over a railroad track that once you go back towards the east side of town down here, about a half mile or so down this railroad track, there are two mines, one of which is the Phillips #1 mine that I talk about in my paper quite a bit, and it produced roughly 100,000 tons of coal every year on its own. So that's pretty cool. So I'm gonna hop in the truck, drive down a little bit further, and hopefully be able to get down close enough to where the mine is to be able to see it and take some pictures of it. Okay, so I've made my way underneath the bridge, which was not much fun going through the weeds, but we're on the train tracks now, headed down towards the mine, which will be just up past that bend up there. So I walked all the way down the tracks to where the map says that the coal mines are, but as you guys can see, all around the track is just super thick underbrush, and I went in about as far as I could before I couldn't go anymore, and I couldn't find any of the mines, so we're gonna head back to the truck and pull up the map again, see if we can't find a couple others. Phillips had 5 stations in this area. One of the stations, number 5, was probably the biggest in area, and on the map I'm using, it shows how wide, or kind of the area that it surrounds, and there's a big neighborhood on it now, just north of town in Ottumwa. So most of those people probably don't know that they're sitting on about several hundred tons of coal, which is pretty cool to think about. You can see kind of as we walk along the tracks, the primary thing a lot of these trains on this track carry, even though these coal mines are now closed, is coal. Growing up, we were constantly watching the coal trains go by, which I never even thought twice of, but it all kind of makes sense now that Ottumwa has been kind of a hub city for coal in Iowa for a while. So we'll go back in the truck, try to find a couple more mines, hopefully try and show you guys one, and if not, we will head out to Garrison Rock to see some Pennsylvanian sandstone within the area that sits right on top of the coal that sits underneath of Ottumwa. So before coming to Garrison Rock, I went and picked up Millie, the geology dog. So she will join us while we go and try to find some Pennsylvanian sandstone. Come on, Mill. Come on. So this area of Garrison Rock is owned by the Wapello County Conservation Board. So we won't be able to take any fossils, but I kind of wanted to show the trail leading back to it. Millie has all sorts of smells that she's trying to get into. There's a bunch of different trails. There's a couple of mountain biking trails. This main one will lead us back to where the big rock bluff is, and that is where we're headed to be able to see the sandstone. So we're getting deeper into Garrison Rock here, and we're starting to get a couple of the bluffs. We've gone by a couple, but they were pretty small, and they're on the opposite side of the trail. You can't get to it. But right here we have one of the small outcroppings. Millie is just waiting patiently, but not really. We have a big boulder up here. Frogs are everywhere, jumping around, scared of Millie. Here's a a big rock that just stands out here on its own. But there'll be a lot more once we get back into the back of it. Okay, so we've finally reached the large outcrop of Garrison Rock here. A lot of graffiti all over the place. But this is the main outcrop. This is all Pennsylvanian Sandstone. So I had the paper about Wyoming Hill. And so this is very similar to what we would have done over at Wyoming Hill, where above the coal was all of this Pennsylvanian sandstone from the fourth orogeny of the Appalachian Mountains. So through here, as we get closer, you can see it's kind of sanded and muddy over the top of it. But through here, there's these large rocks all over the bottom. And there's actually, down here where this stream is just actual sand. We have been walking around here for a little bit now, and we're not seeing anything on the ground in terms of fossils. Millie's spinning me around there. But back through here, you can see all of it's just sandstone. You can't see any of the coal beds. So this is Garrison Rock. I will talk about it a little bit in my paper, but this is what we see.